from the skills perspective, like how does Dub AI, how does it have access to, be able to send emails on your behalf, be able to update your CRM, be able to do lead gen, be able to do create an asset like you see right here? How is it able to do all of these things? How can it book a meeting into your calendar? How can it do these functional things? Well, that has everything to do with this. So inside the Dub dashboard here, Dub AI, right over here, it says integrations. It's all about this right here. It's connecting Dub AI to the softwares you're using every day. So if you scroll down a little bit, you first want to start with your email. What do you use? Do you use Gmail or do you use Outlook? So you just type it in here and then you just start connecting things. Because that way, once you connect your email, I can go find those missed sales opportunities. It can do personalized sending. It can do a recurring task every day where it checks your email and starts sequencing. You also can look in here for your CRM that you use. Maybe you use Go High Level. You can connect it right there. See how it says connect? Connect. What about your calendar link? What about Google Docs? What do you normally use? Search for it right here and click connect. Then Dub AI will have access to these things, which is what you want to give it first. You want to give it access. Now, if you can't find what you're looking for down here, maybe you type something in, you're like, I can't find it. What you can do is this. So notice over here to the left, it says custom integrations. So when I click this here, you're going to see a couple ones sitting in here. These two could not be found in integration. So Dub AI created custom integrations. So how did that happen? It was just going into Dub AI and saying right down here in the chat, Dub AI, do me a favor, create a custom integration with XYZ company, XYZ software you're using. And then it will just show in front of you how it's building it out. And then it basically will end up asking for an API key. You follow the directions, put in the API key. And the next thing you know, right over here, you have your custom integrations that have been created. So whether you find them here under integrations when you're searching, for what you want it to have access to, like we just did. And if you can't find it, tell Dub AI like you would an assistant to create it, and it will be listed right over in custom integrations. So either way, Dub AI now has access to these different areas, CRM, email, link, all that stuff. Now, once it has access, now you want to give it a certain skill level. So right over here to the left, in the left nav, is skills. So when you select skills here, you're going to notice right across the top, there's a general category, and then there are other industries. If you don't see your industry here, you can always let us know. We can add it in. The idea here is, you see all these switches? It's like flipping on a switchboard. So if on a daily basis, and we talked about with lead generation, how important email verification was, right? And lead gen, when you turn these switches on, it gives Dub AI the green light to do this at the highest possible level because of its relationships in the marketplace on the back end and the API, the power behind Dub. So you're giving it the ability to do it at the highest level when you flip on that switch. So just go through the general category and see what you want to turn on. If you have Dub, the regular Dub Sales Studio recording videos, hey, turn on the Dub Video Email Sender. If you do a lot of email writing, flip that on. What about review collection? Maybe you get a lot of reviews. Turn that on. Just take your time and go through here and flip on what makes sense for you. Now, once you do that from a general category, then you just want to pop into your particular industry across here at the top where it's more specific. Maybe you like policy renewal outreach. I'm going to turn that switch on. Maybe you're over here in real estate and you're like, you know what? I do a lot of FISBOR outreach. That's getting turned on. I want expired listings turned on. I want definitely property owner search. That's going to get turned on. Maybe I'm over here in recruiting and I do a lot of candidate outreach. I'm going to turn that on. So general category and then your industry, flip on the switches that make sense so that I can do it at the best level. So you did integrations, it has access, and now you did skills, so it has the skill level to do these things. The last thing you want to do in terms of connections is over here under settings. So down here is right here. See how it says Slack connection? If you do use Slack, make sure it's connected. If you're a Slackster and you want to have Dub AI in Slack, like we showed earlier, if you want to communicate with Dub inside of Dub AI inside of Slack, if you do that, make sure that's connected, which it will say connected. And then down here in the company agent configuration, company info right here, this is where you want to drop information in about what you're doing, your company, your outreach, your services, your products, your goals, maybe your branding, your logo, your brand color, whatever makes sense to drop in here so Dub AI has access to this in terms of information for your branding and what you do. The other part is the model of the AI. So what model do you want to use for certain things? So we have in a scale here going from the top to the bottom. If you select each one, there's a nice best for description that sits right in here, and you see monetary right over here to the right. So you can kind of make your way through to the different models and say, okay, that's good for this, This one's good for this. If you kind of want to scale up a little bit, the one down here at the end, Dub, that's really good for that. So kind of make your way through and see which one you want to pop on to do what you need to get done. Now, as far as Darius, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Dub, where's Dub? Connect Dub. It was normally right here. See how it says Slack connection? Isn't Dub
Uh,
usually right here? Anyway.
yeah, it used to be.
Okay, so you got to
Change
connect up.
every day.
So yeah, so connect up. That's important. So you got to connect up. We're moving things. But as far as routines, this is really important. So over here to the left, when you click routines, see how it says recurring and one time. This is where we talked about before. If you have something that you want to do on a daily or weekly basis, tell it in the chat, right over here in the chat. Do this recurring task. Do this routine. When and where, and then that will appear in routines. And you can edit it, start, stop if you'd like to in here. Maybe you want a report delivered on a certain thing, you can have that done here. Dub AI can also do memories. So if you want Dub AI to remember things, whether it's a certain way to communicate with you internally or external facing, you can create memories that will list in here. And again, all you have to do is type in here and say, Dub AI, create a memory. Like, I want you to communicate in this way. I want you to do script writing this certain way. So, whatever things you want it to remember, just tell it to remember it. The other thing as well is going to be recent chats. See down here, over here. Now in Slack, if you're a big Slackster, you love channels in Slack where you can have different communications and conversations with WAI about different topics. You can organize it by channels. We are going to have that over here, probably up here around the top somewhere with channels or projects so you can organize different topics that you're talking about. But for right now, we have the recent chats right over here, and we have a little search function where you can look for things that you talked with WAI about before, just for ease of use. We also have this really great thing that the team added right over here. This is speech to AI refined text. So when you select this right here, you can be, just kind of going off the top of your dome. You're thinking, saying, listen, WAI, I want you to create this script for this ad that I want to do. Actually, you know what? Make it a social media post instead. I want to talk about the teleprompter and the power of it. You know what? Actually, I want it to be the Dub mobile app teleprompter in particular. And let's make like a short script I'm looking to make, probably maybe like, 15 seconds in length. Hit the check mark, and it will take a bunch of those thoughts that I was just kind of spitting out there and kind of craft it into something a little more logical. So that's Dub. That's speech to AI refined text that works really, really well. Now, as far as SMS, this is a really cool thing that the team added. So let's say you're out and about and you want to communicate with Dub AI via text. You want to tell it to do things, right? So down over here, there's a little three dot menu. And if you click account, you come right in here and you can link your phone number right here. Just hit +1 and then give the phone number. It will be linked and then it will automatically send you a text message. Now, you would have gotten a pop-up when you were signing up and you would have been able to do this right then, put your number in. But if you didn't do that, you always can do it right here. So it gives you the ability to do that. So let me show you what this looks like. When you get the first SMS from Dub AI, this is what it's going to ask you, and then this is how you can communicate. So let me share it here, and this is what it looks like, just like this. Oops, you know what? Hold on. Let me actually connect my camera, disconnect this. There we go. Now it should work. Here we go. Okay. So right here is the first message you get from WAI. You link the phone number, it's going to say, hey, it's WAI. How can I help? And you can start communicating with it right away. We did some lead gen stuff here. I also did some script conversations. So what you can do, and it responds pretty quickly. So when you're talking back and forth, it's very convenient. We worked on a script. It loaded it into Dub, and then we loaded it into a teleprompter and we recorded it. It also set a lunch meeting that we wanted to get set. So a lot of really useful things you can do right from SMS in terms of being out and about and telling it to do something while you're doing something else, which is really convenient. So, they put Dub AI where you are most of the time, which can be with SMS messaging.